My name is Gabriel Henderson. I am a senior computer science major with a concentration in cybersecurity. For my research project, the reading that I chose was Narrative of Life of Frederick Douglass, an American Slave. It's just my favorite thing that we read this semester. And the assignment, which was to correlate, one of the readings or one of the things that we did over the semester with your interest or your major, I decided to create a text editor using Python. And basically, I'm just going to run through a demo very quickly. I'm also just going to explain this as well quickly, not too much in depth. So the major things that it does is, the first thing is it's going to take user input. So it's going to be a quote. So, and you'll see it in the demo. When I start it up, it'll ask you to put a quote from the book, right? Second thing is I integrated ChatGPT into this locally, so you don't have to go to like a browser, or you don't have to, or I didn't have to go to a browser or go to the app natively. It's just on my machine locally in this program specifically. And what this is going to do is, once you give the quote, it's going to summarize the quote and just give you some further context, right? Then we have NLP down here, a function for this. Function is just a reusable block of code. And what this does is, NLP is natural language processing, and it's just going to give like a sentiment analysis, basically giving further context to what the quote is about, what it's really saying. And it'll give like a rating, it'll give like a number, right? And then I also hard-coded MLA citation in here as well for the story, just because early on in the English classes I had to take, one of the questions that was asked outside of, what did I just read, especially with stuff that's, a little bit older, was how do I cite this MLA? How do I cite this MLA? So I just statically put it in there right here, right? And also have a function for the file path. So I downloaded the book, found it for free online, the whole book, downloaded it, saved it on my machine locally. So that's what this is pulling all the information from. It's going to check to make sure that the quote that you put in is the quote that's from the book. So it's going to verify it as well. So we're going to go ahead and demo this. Okay, I am running Linux. So we're going to run that. This is the file path right here, just where it's located. So it's going to check this file path and then pull the code from this file path. And you'll see the prompt come up in a second. Okay, so you see PDF loaded successfully. Please enter a quote. And I have the PDF here, the whole book. I just opened it and picked something random. So it's highlighted right here, right? Okay, so, and it's important that, because it's pulling straight from this, everything has to be typed, word for word essentially, and formatted correctly. So all the commas, all the periods and everything, capital letters, everything has to be accurate. So we're going to paste the quote from the book into here. Okay. All right, so the input and the output that we got is going to give a summary. So we have the quote here. So first message you get is quote found. So that means it found the quote in the text, right, from the PDF. Then we go down to the OpenAI explanation and just a couple messages I put in there. And the explanation of the quote that ChatGPT or OpenAI gave is, in this quote from Frederick Douglass's narrative, the phrase, "the poor man was then informed by his overseer," suggests it's a little closer here, I'm going to pull this out. The power dynamics and injustices present in the system of slavery. It highlights the lack of autonomy and control that enslaved individuals had over their own lives, as they were subject to the commands and decisions of their overseers. This quote underscores the dehumanizing nature of slavery and the harsh realities faced by those who were enslaved. Okay, that was a little hard to read with everything jumbled up like that. So then we go to the NLP diagnostics, which is, like I said before, just the sentiment analysis pretty much, just giving more context. And what that's doing here, it's giving us a number, so polarity, which is tone, right? So, and I also pretty much hard coded in, you know, what these values would be based on a library that I imported that was up at the top of the program. So for tone, you know, it's negative 0.4. So closer to -1 is negative, +1 is positive, 0 is neutral, right? So we got negative 0.4 here. And then for subjectivity, we got 0.6. So closer to 0 is factual, closer to 1 is opinionated. So some of that subjectiveness that's there. And then lastly, like I said, I got the MLA citation hard coded here. So that's what that is. And then we get a program finished message. So that was just a quick demo of what I came up with for my project. And that's all I got. Thanks.